live stream title. Stepping on the beach, do 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 do. Stepping on the beach, do do do. Stepping on the beach, do 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 do. Treasure is totally your senpai. Treasure is drawing on Ibis paint. It says Treasure's offline. Okay. Why are you upset? Treasure is offline. Treasure is offline. Who is Becky the Fox 12? You got cut from the volleyball team. What happened? Why'd you get cut? That's dumb. Usually they don't cut people just like that. I mean, at least in my school they didn't cut me. I actually dropped out. Tryouts. Yeah, then again I got into well basically everybody kept like saying, "Hey, I don't think." Oh, thank you, Becky. But mainly with me, like I told you, I kept hitting the ball hard enough as to where it would bruise my hand and possibly pop veins in it. But yeah, that's what some people just wanted me to leave the volleyball team for. They were really worried about my hand, which it's really actually funny that I say that because my hand that I kept hitting with, it's my drawing hand, and it's also the hand that I fractured. Which is really weird. The hand that I fractured is the one that I use the most, and it's the strongest one now. The more you know. So that's something. Anyway, I'm so rude to not ask how everybody is doing. So, how is everybody? I don't like my dogs in the background. Oof. Good, you. Okay, you. Actually, for me, I have something going on right now. It's gonna take a few weeks to get it out there, though. Okay, I have a secret. Okay, basically what Project Breakup is. I know this is really stupid to be saying on the internet like this. However, Project Breakup is me running away. Now, I'm gonna have you know I am 16 years of age, and to where I'm running away to is 2,000 miles in the middle of the US. And I'll have you know I'm on the East Coast, so this is gonna be terrible. Now, I'm gonna have to have you guys promise you're not gonna tell anybody, and you're not gonna type, "Wait, you're running away" in chat. Okay? Because it needs to be secret, and you need to act like you've never ever heard me say anything. I know exactly what I'm doing, and I have many weeks to research everything that I'll need to do, but I'm going to tell you that there's a reason, and I may be offline for many, many years. I know that you're worried. In fact, I'm worried too because I have a place to go, but it's just scary thinking about how I'm gonna get there and what may happen between there. Yes, it is a very serious topic to be talking about. It's not something that most should take lightheartedly. And I know exactly what expenses this may come at. But I'm going to try my best to be okay. There are many reasons that I'm leaving, and I may, over time, when doing live streams, I may let those out. That's only if people actually need reasons, because if you've been with me long enough, you can tell the reasons that I need to leave.
I'm really struggling to find creative ways to intro these. So I think from now on, I'm just gonna make the video.
Where was that message retracted? Honey Bunches? What's wrong? I mean, if you have any questions about Project Breakup, you just have to call it Breakup. I'll try to over Skylar's account. But when you're talking about me leaving, say when like an example, say when Project Breakup happens, where are you gonna be? What are you gonna do? Like stuff like that.
You and Matthew were close. Yeah, we were pretty close. When you hear him disgustingly, I mean, that was you two. Yeah. Was that you on the left? Yeah. How long ago was that? That was, well, 2, 3 years. I told my team that I'm worried that I'll face abuse publicly, but to then get that in your
I mean, I have 8, maybe 7 weeks. I'm looking at state laws, and I'm basically looking at everything legal that could help me. Because if I do make it up to Connecticut, then I will. Well, hopefully, I'll be 18 before anybody finds me. Which, by the way, this may sound really stupid, but Minnie, you're making a video and all this. Inky, you're making videos and, you're talking about all this. Yeah, I'm deactivating accounts. I'm going to delete emails. And when I say delete emails, I don't mean just delete messages. I mean delete my entire email account together. It's going to be as if I disappeared in the middle of the night without a trace. I know what I'm doing, and I know how stupid it is. And I know how many people run away, and I know what it's like to hear about a lot of people running away. Like, oh, they hate their family. Yeah, but have you ever considered, like, take me for example. I already know that I'm gonna have to travel at least 3 or 4 states. And that's not even counting where the borders are gonna be. And I'm a person who has no sense of direction. So if I pass through all those states and I do get there and people find me, I hope that they will give me my emancipation rights. Because if you run from the East Coast to the Midwest, then obviously you have to be running from something. At least that's up to my standards of believability.
It's a girl! Kylie Jenner helps the Ace family with their epic gender reveal full of pink confetti. Catherine and Austin, who have a
But yeah, I don't want any of you to go to anybody and say anything. Okay?
separate crime with found out the result of pregnancy.
Oh, don't worry. I will come back to YouTube and I will not forget any of you. Just hopefully you'll keep your YouTube channels up and I'll be able to come back and find you.
Start with that.
But don't worry, we still have 7 weeks left. I know it's sad, but like I said, I'm going to be leaving the first week or the first day of summer. Hopefully passing 9th grade, that way I will only have 3 years missing of school. But I'm 16, so I'm legally allowed to drop out, and hopefully I can go back to get my GED. One of the main reasons I even want to stay here, even though I'm going through everything that I am, is because but the main reason I want to stay at least is because I just really want to get an education and I don't want to fuck my life up. And that's kind of ass backwards. And I know that. I mean, I honestly just want to go into explaining, but I don't think anybody wants to hear a freaking sob story. Or like something completely crazy, because let me tell you honestly, it's not what a normal person would say. And it's gonna be basically the documentation of 6 freaking years. It's really long. Let's not go. Wait. Give me a minute. I'm sorry, I'm really tired. I've been thinking of this for the past few days. You need to see me, even though you've seen me already. Okay, I'm gonna get ready for Little Miss Ugly. Sorry. Anyway. This is me. Hello. I guess first things first, I need to start out with I have not had a normal family. I haven't had a mom my entire life, though my dad has been trying to get girlfriends. This is one of the main reasons that I would believe that I am not a normal child, and I actually do miss mothering care, even though I've never had it. And this, I guess, would be my father's fault for getting so many girlfriends and keeping it in my head to where he needed to get me a mother. So obviously, I needed a mother. It's hard. Along with like this stupid story, my mother supposedly wasn't even really good. So everything is just really conflicting on that part. I'm sorry, I'm gonna say a lot. I just need to think on this because this is not even the beginning. So for many years, I have lived without a mother, and I have lived with only my father and my brother. Many things have come of this, like the need for a mother during the times of a woman, that I could never really get. And you'd think that I would have relatives that were females. Yes, I did have relatives that were females. However, the females would never come to me because they did not want to deal with me until I was older, which I don't ever really. You come to me because I'm not your job. I didn't come from you. So it shouldn't be your responsibility to put up with me. I understand that completely. So, along with what my father has done, there were many things that happened when I was just alone with them. Nothing, I guess, too bad. Nothing ever sexual, at least. I mean, brother calling whore and all that just out all the time and bitch, derogatory words for a female and very, very racist remarks, which those are more the problem right now. I do not like that because they keep saying like the N word and they keep like because here's the thing, it's okay for them to say it. But and I made the mistake of one time saying a very derogatory word, for a Spanish person. And I honestly don't like myself for it. And I still think of it to this day, like, oh my god, why was I such an idiot? And they downed me even though they've done it and they laughed within each other, but evidently it was wrong for me to say anything. And I don't really understand. It's like just narcissism at its finest, and it happens all the time. And I want to speak out about it to somebody, but I've tried many times. I've gotten DSS here at least 3 times already. I have I have gotten DSS on us 3 times, and that was pretty bad. Because most of the time when they came over, all they like the first few times, like probably once or maybe twice, they came over without me there because I was still in the 1 digits, and all they did was check for physical surroundings. They never checked for emotional, which kind of worried me. they should have, like, my dad and my brother, they did hit me. It wasn't as it wasn't bruises, so it wasn't anything that could be proved. So yeah, no, that's just something that I couldn't do. The third time they came, but by this time, I need to just like get my thing in a row because I'm jumping around to all sorts of problems that have just been going on. See, there's another problem that I never let most things go. But I never let most things go, so literally everything that's ever happened in my life, at least once every day, it will run around my mind, and it's it's the assumption that it is my fault because most of the time when something had gone wrong within my life, it's your fault, Charlotte. Like that. Sometimes when mothers would leave, um, and I wouldn't call them mothers. They just came. That's another thing about them that you may need to know. They my brother is 21. He weighs 300 plus pounds and he is 6 foot something. He's very strong and I don't believe I could stand up to them without getting hurt. And with the way my life is going, I don't think that I would even be able to go to anyone about it because I'm very cowardice. And it's just not me. I mean, I'd go and I'd try to tell, but the fear that's there is still instilled. And I will admit, the fear is very selfish. There's just a lot, and this is really heavy on me to even get out. I guess a few people need to know. But most of the time, it was emotional abuse. And the only thing that I had to cover that up were the stuffed animals and the covers, and sometimes it just wasn't enough. And sometimes it just wasn't enough to, hug up to a stuffed animal. And I had this habit of sucking my thumb. No, that is continuous, by the way. And I know that may seem really bad, but I have extreme anxiety issues as to where when something goes wrong, if I hear yelling or if somebody raises their hand, like today, I was kind of questioning why exactly, like when one of my best friends raised their hand to like, just like pat me on the shoulder, why I exactly like flinched away like physically like that completely. And it's something that I just didn't expect because I haven't done it in so long. But I guess everything's been getting to me lately, especially with dad and Kim left and he's drinking again. But yeah, everything is completely scary. But I've been looking up state laws, and what I can say is if I if I go to Colorado and I make it there completely and safe. And listen, I know this may seem very bad when I say it, but if I get kidnapped and nobody will know where I am, I think I'd be in a better position. Because most people who do that have reasons for doing what they do. We all know it, and it probably wouldn't be hard for me to talk to somebody there who does kidnap me if they have a heart. Most people, but I know this may seem stupid, but most people don't like to kidnap people, and they do it for money. And it's basically the cycle of pain. So if you go through the cycle of pain, maybe you could connect with somebody. Even if you do, I don't know what I'm saying. All I'm saying is that emotions are something that you maybe can connect with, and I'm just hoping that somebody would, help. I have many siblings actually, and let me start from the beginning that I know and how to start the story off. Basically, from the beginning, it was my dad, my mother, and my brother. And my brother, it's not the brother that I have now. It was actually my past brother. His name is Philip. I have no idea where he is today, and I'm not allowed to see him unless I do run away and go see him one last time. He is severely mental, not as in murder-wise, as in he hurts himself. And literally splits his head open, hurts himself, and goes about his day. I don't think I've never really looked into it because I haven't seen him that much, but I don't think he had realized what exactly it meant to be hurt that way. But I want to commend him for what happened. Our mother poisoned our father with antifreeze, putting it in a soda, and he drank it, and he fell into a coma for many months. During those months, my mother had taken me and my brother, basically kidnapping, and she had just driven around. She kept leaving us at places, and she kept leaving us at places and kept finding new boyfriends, like boyfriend of the month, boyfriend of the week, boyfriend of the day. She just went around. And when we got to the the sorry, I need to think. I'm sorry, I'm listening to them and I'm getting afraid and I'm getting nervous. I don't like it, okay? I'm not even supposed to be talking anything. It's just so much is happening. I want to get it out, but at the same time, I'm just afraid. I don't like it. And they need to stop yelling. My brother, we were found by the cops one too many times, and we got taken in DSS custody, and then we got taken to a home in North Carolina. However, during that time, he had been molested by one of my mother's boyfriends at the time. And it was only him. And he tried his best throughout the entire time just to protect me, even though I was an infant. And I don't think that he cared if I was an infant or anything, and he cared that he was mental. All he knew was protect his little sister. And so he did. Fast forward till I'm 5, and I don't know how old he is. He's older than me, though. I was taken out of the foster home because evidently my other brother, which my dad had, who was older than me, his mother had found us in North Carolina, and he fought in court. Now, this may seem very, wait a minute, He fought for you in court, so he must be a good person. Maybe. I don't know anymore. It was him fighting in court, and he won me, but he didn't win my brother. Because as I said, my mother went around many guys, and Philip was not my dad's. He was my mother's. And even though Dad raised him, it's okay. And we went through that, and for many years, it was like through like the Little Ages. I was a nonstop liar. I stretched the truth very, very far. And I kept lying more and more because I was afraid. Don't pray for my family. If you're gonna pray for anyone, don't even pray for me. Pray for Philip. Because I want him to be safe. And after that many years, it would persist of my father and brother hitting me on the leg or hitting me in the back of the head or hitting me on the head. I don't think they should have hit me in the head because it's it persisted. All day I have the right. I have the right. And throughout those many years, we had a dog, and her name was Princess, and she died as soon as I visited my grandparents. So that was one thing that I remember. However, I still don't know the cause of her death since nobody will exactly tell me the truth anymore. And like I said, within those years, I was hit, and I was a very hyper child, and most of the time I didn't know what I was doing. I would do the same thing over and over, and actually, to this day, I don't exactly know why I kept doing things over and over and over. Oh, you're old, bitch. He says that he has the right to mess with the dog. The dog that's almost 11 years old and has a seizure every other week. They don't care. They'll beat up and hurt and harm and yell and cuss at anyone who won't fight back. Then I think there's about to be a fight in the living room, so maybe I'll let that record and you guys can see what they do to this day daily, which makes me have an almost anxiety attack. And at one point made me grab a razor and cut myself because I thought it was my fault. But there was all I can remember is when I got to when I got to age 12. And I met a guy who was 21 years old. And I keep telling the story differently because I am completely ashamed, but at least I kept, part of the story right. The part of the story that, he was 21 and I was 12, and I had the most, like, hurtful thing taken away from me forcefully because I was a child and I didn't know. And I still feel regret to this day. I don't know what anyone says. I don't know what anyone says about this. And I don't know how so many people go through it and how they don't hate themselves day to day, or how somebody could expect a 12-year-old to make such a decision, how they can make a 12-year-old do that, because I lost the one thing that I wish that I still had today. And I think if I wouldn't have ever met him, then I would be okay. But no, this 21-year-old talked to me as if I was an adult and I was legally of age to do such heinous acts. And I was stupid enough to go with it because I had no power over it and I had no mentality over it because I didn't know. And my family blamed me entirely. This was the first time that I got DSS down there because Kim was there. Kim was the stepmom of, I don't know, for a few years to come. And she got into my phone because I thought it would be a good thing to come home and be responsible and actually tell my parents something because I trusted Kim at the time, which I shouldn't have. She treated me as less of a person than her two twin boys that she had never been there for so many years. And all she ever did was treat me like I was less than anyone. I had to sit there one time at Christmas while she gave them at least $1,000 each, and all she gave me was literally an outfit. I'm not ungrateful, but when you make such a show out of your twin boys who don't deserve to be babied and should have to have a job. But she treated me as less of a person, and I thought it would be good to come and say, hey, I got detention. And no, it wasn't detention. It was detention or ISS. Because I'm sorry they're talking again. I have this habit of when I hear people talking in loud voices, I get afraid and I get quiet. Um, um, they treated it like it was my fault because they said that when I got home, my ass was gonna be black and blue, basically, and that I was in so much trouble because they took my phone and they went through it. And she made such a display. Out of that tiny moment. And I don't know if Dad told anybody. He probably did, because he was disappointed that his daughter was a slut and a whore. Just like her mother, which is something that is said to me quite often. I don't believe that it is right for people to down others because of their sex. I do not think it is appropriate for somebody to down someone because of their gender. And please excuse me for saying this word, but I do not believe that any person who is downing a race, specifically African Americans, should say that nigger or those niggers. That is a curse word within itself. I have to hide that because of the computer I'm on. I hope that's okay. But it went on that way and they made such a show, and it kept getting worse over the time. And there's many things that are putting my morals at risk right now, and that's something that I'm very afraid of. Because, like I said, I see the morals in my heart are very sweet and kind-hearted, even with the personality. Because I'm not angry. I don't believe I'm angry by choice. I'm believing that in there, those two have instilled it in me. And it's an almost impossible thing to get rid of now. And I know that's so stupid that every teen puts the blame on their parents, their peers, their guardians, because they don't want to feel guilty. And I am guilty of using this anger. I'm guilty of insulting people. I'm guilty of so many things and so many horrible things. But I digress. Right. I digress because, many people do things in their life. And so many people, you've at least hit one person, whether it be when you were younger and you were tiny, and you've at least used your anger and accidentally went out on somebody. Now, for me, it's not exactly the easiest thing for me to apologize to someone. It's not exactly the easiest thing to come up to somebody after I, just hit them and say something. And especially with me, especially with the thinking that I'm not good enough after it's like it's the motive to be exactly the same flat line for one person, like the personality that I show for them. I have to be that flat line completely. And I don't exactly know where that comes from. Maybe it's OCD, perfectionist issues. I don't know. But throughout those years that everything went wrong, and I kept using the anger, I kept using sadness and everything. Hold up, give me a moment. I'm gonna continue the story, obviously, but I would use that anger, and when I sometimes I use the anger on myself. And the anger that I used on myself is in the exact way I think. And another reason to delete this video, I'm going to show you exactly what I did to myself. And no, I'm not going to show you bloody pictures. I'm going to show you scars. And you probably won't even be able to see them anyway. It's worth a shot. You probably can't even see them, but it's all the way up my arm. Some up here, some around my hips. I have to go. I'll make some more for you. Okay. Just keep safe, okay? But throughout all of that, I had to believe that I needed a mother to be normal, and it didn't help while in elementary school that kids would torment me and tease me. And it didn't help that I went through a gender dysphoria kind of phase on DeviantArt as well, where, not on DeviantArt, oh gosh. In elementary school as well, because, I lived with two men my entire life, and I began to think, I'm a boy. I am a boy. Like, I had a flat chest at the time, and it just seemed logical. So I said, I'm a boy. One day in class, and one thing led to another. We had to talk with the guidance counselor, and it just went into this whole big mess. And yeah, I was labeled the weirdo girl who thought she was a boy kid from then on. But yeah. I'm sorry that I keep messing around a lot. It's due to anxiety, okay? But, yeah. A lot of stuff happened. I'm trying to, stay happy through all of this and trying not to make it so difficult and all that. Shadow Realm for now. And yes, I do spray smells and all that. Smells calm me down. Especially the sugar beet. But with me, I specifically remember I kept cutting and cutting and cutting. And I also remember one specific moment during, growing up with my brother, the now 21-year-old brother, the one who lives with me still. He came in one day from sleeping. I'm guessing this was summer. He came in from sleeping one day and came into the house really angry, like most days. So it wasn't like it was, oh, unexpected, this is something new. No, I didn't want to mess with him, so, I thought like, oh, if I don't mess with him, then everything is going to be completely fine, completely okay. I can't remember exactly why he got angrier, but he was talking to me, and for some reason he got angrier. And he, by the end of it, had his hand completely around my throat and had me off of the ground against the wall. And I had a sharp object to my head saying that he was going to kill me. He was saying he was going to kill me. I can remember the teeniest bits of it, how he made a letter so hard that a little bit of his spit
went into my mouth, and to this day, I still hurl and I want to throw up because of how it felt at that moment. And I still feel disgusting because he is disgusting. I don't mean to criticize looks or anything, but when you walk around with nothing but boxers on and you're 300 pounds and you have boils all over your skin and you don't care and you look like, and I'm sorry, I'm so sorry to say this, but if you look like a walking disease, nobody is going to want anything with you. And if you torture someone with how you look, if you torture somebody with how you look, and if you just torture somebody, period, it happens to where you're just like, could really scar you. And I'm sorry that I went on such a long tangent there. Most of the time when I'm in the middle of saying something, I can completely forget it right away. I know it's not normal for a person to do that. There was another incident when I was younger where I was at the table, and for once I asked my father to help me with my math homework because my teachers noticed that there was a barrier between us, at least. And that I wouldn't listen to anybody, and I kept doing the same thing over and over, and they thought maybe if I got more attention from home, I wouldn't act out so much. It became to where in school we had our little good behavior charts. And it would be a miracle if by the end of the day I only had 1 or 2 marks, and it would be Jesus on earth if I had none. And it was for the same thing over and over. And let me answer you real quick so I can. On to the story of what exactly happened at the table. As I said, I was a child who couldn't really pay attention. I wasn't really good at math anyway. And I couldn't do multiplication, and I was in 3rd grade. So I was at the table, and I asked Dad for help. And by the end of it, I don't remember how it came up to this way, but I kept like nervously laughing, like, I can't do this unless you give me a way to do this. And all they ever said was like, solve it, solve it, solve it. What is, like, I couldn't even do 9 times 3. It was that bad. And it kept being forced on me, like, solve it, solve it, solve it, like that. And it's like you shouldn't do that to a kid. If you put that much pressure on a kid, all you're doing is frying their brain with the words solve it, solve it, solve it, and you're it's like lightning going through.
And eventually, where they started hitting me in the back of the head, like really hard, and it hurt so much. Until my head hit the table, and I was sent back to my room, crying. And what's worse is I didn't even know what I was doing wrong, and I didn't get the homework done for that day, and the teacher was even more disappointed. There was another incident where in school, I believe in fifth grade, I had to do it was third grade, I believe. It was a grade in elementary school. And I had to do a science project and explain it well. So then they removed the tape, like, because they taped, like, put yellow tape and put my name on it, because that's what my dad did. My dad let me redo, you know. I can't keep track of what I'm saying. They're talking. I'm really sorry. I'm just trying to calm down, so I'm taking a moment to myself. But by the end of it, they found out, and then they started yelling at me, and I started crying, and then Dad basically kept blaming me, saying that I didn't know how to explain it, and yeah. Once again, it was my fault. One of his girlfriends left, and it was my fault. Then another one of his girlfriends left, and it was my fault. And eventually, it got to the point where he told me to stop asking if I could call mother or mama. And he kept blaming me for that. Saying racist things. But the story after that, him and Dad got divorced many times, and over the years, I kept cutting, and I kept having many suicide attempts, and I kept having mental breakdowns, and I kept going into these small depressive states. Eventually, they kept building up to get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. But, like, Dad had a heart attack. And this is when him and Kim were still together. For the third time by now. And he was in the hospital. He had the heart attack very early in the morning, and I didn't exactly know what was going on because once again I was still asleep. My dad had a heart attack in the a.m.s, like probably 3 a.m. And he was rushed to the emergency room. They were told that, or he was told that the stress combined with alcohol and smoking the most was what was killing him, basically. He now has he has uncontrollable diabetes. It is not a type, it is uncontrollable, where he will be 100 to 500, like in sugar. And those are both unimaginable states. 500 is comatose, and 100 is probably the same. And yet, to this day, he drinks and he still smokes, and to this day, he will say, "Oh, I'm gonna quit. I can quit any time that I want." It does not seem so, because every time he tries to quit, and he out on us. And at this time, I cannot go through that because, and I will not lie to you, I have had many dreams and many just visions as to where I would take a knife out of the kitchen and hurt them. And each time I imagine or I wake up from one of these terrible dreams, I will be crying. I don't want to hurt anyone. And I am done hurting myself. For some reason, it does not give me what it gave me anymore. And which brings it up to this point, Kim being left and him drinking more and more each day. I'm going to run away. Project Breakup. Which is why I'm looking into all the laws. I'm looking into everything. I don't know how far I'll get. I don't know if I'll make it. I don't know what's going to happen. But I know that I'm going to go. And I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try my ass off. And if I make it, and they try to turn me away, which I don't believe they will, because I think anybody would be in sheer disbelief at a girl who's 16, turning 17, walking across 4 to 5 states. Big states. Just to be with a sister who doesn't have any blood relation to her. Just to be with people that she doesn't even know. Just to be away from everything that is here. And I'm going to tell you what they're going to say about me. They're going to say that I am a spoiled child, and yes, I am. I am a very spoiled child. I get everything that anybody could ever want, but I do not get what I want. Yes, I do have necessities that I need. However, when it comes to emotional support and love as in that nature, it is very faked. It is very forced, and it is not real. There is no familiar connection here. And the only one that I hate leaving is my dog. I know I cannot take her though. Because if I do take her, they will not have food up there for a dog. the basis of my reasons to run away. There are so many. It's almost as if everything is the problem. And people will be in disbelief because my room, it is very well furnished, and they'll think, oh, she ran away because she doesn't want to clean her room. Because yes, my room is messy in a sense. But I'm not leaving because of that. And I know I'm going to sound like one of those edgy teens. Probably continue this tomorrow then. These will be up for the few weeks that I'm going to stay. And then they are going to go private mode, and then everything's gonna go bye-bye. Because I'm killing off the Charlotte Brown account.